0% cloud cover, not a wisp, wall-to-wall blue skies. There will be no clouds. So does somebody want to tell me what all this lot is? There's loads of cloud inland, but hardly anything out to sea. So I can't actually get properly behind the camera. That looks quite nice actually. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me again. Before I came out today, I checked all the weather forecasts. I checked AccuWeather, Meteo Earth, Skippy Sky, and Clear Outdoors. I think that's what it's called, can't remember now. I checked all of them and they all said exactly the same thing. 0% cloud cover, not a wisp, wall-to-wall blue skies. There will be no clouds. So does somebody want to tell me what all this lot is? There's loads of cloud inland, but hardly anything out to sea. A bit frustrating because I picked my location based upon the fact that it was going to be clear skies. And if I'd known we were going to have this kind of cloud, I might have gone in somewhere inland where I hopefully could have taken advantage of it, because this kind of conditions could give us a nice sunset. So the reason I picked this location was because there was at least one composition here that I thought would work with clear blue skies. And the reason I knew about this composition was because I came here and I shot it a week and a half ago when I did my video about doing landscape photography with the Canon M50. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it up there now. But when I shot it with the Canon M50, I was really struggling to compose images. I think it was a case of getting used to the small viewfinder, and I messed up the composition, I got it wrong. So I thought, well, if I don't find anything better today, I'll just go and shoot that composition again, only this time hopefully I'll get it right. Now as it happens, I haven't found anything better. Shut up, noisy birds. Noisy seagulls. As it happens, I haven't found anything better, so I've decided to come and set up for this shot. We've still got about 40 minutes until sunset, but I need light on the scene, so I need to make sure that I don't leave it too late. If the sun disappears behind the coastline further down, then this scene won't work. But what I'm hoping for is some nice side lighting on the scene. So I've got my 16 to 35 lens on at 16mm. I've got no filters on. I don't really need them to balance the exposure. I don't want a long exposure, so I don't need either ND grads or ND filters. And with the blue sky and the wide angle lens, I wouldn't use a polarizer anyway, because chances are I might get uneven polarization, which would look horrible. I've got the tripod pretty low down, but not too low. That was a mistake I made the previous time. I had the camera too low, and the flowers in the foreground that I'll talk about in a minute were too high compared to the tree. So I've got these yellow flowers in the foreground, and then the tree is kind of sitting in the middle of the frame, and then there's some grass and bushes over on the left hand side of the frame. I've composed the image so that the yellow flowers and the bushes are below the shape of the tree, and the foliage, in other words the shaped part of the tree, is above the horizon. There's a little bit of cloud creeping into the scene, and I'm hoping that if we get some nice wispy cloud in there, as that sun gets lower, that will light up and that could look really nice. Those flowers are pretty close to the lens. I'm shooting at f11, and obviously just watching my histogram as that light changes. So I'm going to focus stack. I should be doing one shot on the tree and one shot on the flowers, and then focus stacking them later in Photoshop. And I did a video on focus stacking as well, so if you want to watch that, there's a link to that up there. So it's a case now of settling in and waiting to see what the light does. And obviously I'll take pictures as I go along, because I don't actually know when the best of the light is going to be. Just getting a bit of kind of flare from the sun coming across over the lens, which was sort of kind of blowing out one side of the sky. So little trick for that, because I'm using a 2-second timer, all I was doing was kind of jumping around so that I was casting my own shadow across the side of the lens, so that I'm blocking the light on the lens and then just waiting for the timer to click off. And that hopefully means that I'm not getting that kind of, it's not really blown out highlights, but it just looked kind of washed out on one side. At the moment, I'm shooting 1/25th of a second, f11 ISO 64. I'm going to keep on shooting here, or I'm going to keep on waiting and shooting as the light changes. So now that the sun's getting lower and I'm not hiking around like I was before, it's got chillier, so the fleece came out of the bag to keep me warm. There's some really nice light on these flowers. They're just glowing quite subtly. And there's a little bit of light on one side of the tree. And I'm hoping that tree's going to light up a bit more. I've taken, I don't know, half a dozen versions of this, each one being 2 images because of the focus stacking. And at the moment I'm down to a 15th of a second exposure time. And on the back of the camera it looks quite nice. The only thing I wish is there's some clouds up over that way. I wish they'd come in a bit more, because there's clouds that side and it's just making it look a bit unbalanced. Alternatively, if those clouds move across a bit more, it might look better. But we'll have to see. I can't unfortunately make the clouds do my bidding. Or if only I could. If only I could. Okay, so the light went off of the tree and the flowers over there, so that was finished. But I've just come around to this side because the tree's got a lovely shape here and the sun's setting behind it, and there's some quite nice clouds up there. So I've got set up, low down, portrait orientation, about 17mm. No need to focus stack on this one. Of course, typically it's the best composition is a really awkward position because I've got this bush right down here, so I can't actually get properly behind the camera unless I sit on the bush, and I don't want to do that because it's prickly. Plus it will damage the bush, but it's definitely prickly as well. Again, I'm keeping the foliage on the tree above the horizon line, with the sun actually setting underneath it. I'm focusing on the tree. This will probably be cropped, maybe even a square. At the moment, 1/10 of a second at ISO 64. yeah, that looks quite nice actually. Okay, so as usual I hung on 20 minutes after sunset. I always do that when there's clouds, but whatever colours in the sky has now just faded away, so we're heading into proper twilight now, and I'm heading for home. So not exactly the conditions that were forecast, but hopefully we might have got a couple of nice images there. We'll have to see, as always. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If it's your first time here, first time on my channel, please consider subscribing. And if it's not your first time here and you're not a subscriber, well, now would be a great time. Likes and shares are always appreciated, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of the video, the stills, whatever you like. Ask me a question if you want. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and until the next video, thank you very much, and bye.